Shalom, Kol Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000 of the 12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes to be the judges here on earth, as the kingdom of heaven is established here on earth, just as the Lord's Prayer says, on earth as it is in heaven, to rule over all the other nations and make them to learn the ways of the Bible, learn the ways of the Lord, so that there can finally be peace on earth, which is one of the number one reasons how you know that Israel hasn't been restored yet, that these people that are going to be spoke about in this entire video are imposters. All right. To the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black thing like, Esau, Edom tries to make it, or even some Israelites. This is the Israelite things, for the Israelites are scattered among all people, which is why the Lord is going to come and draw his elect only from out of those people, not the rest of Israel. All right. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another brutal lesson in truth. All right, and I'm going to open with this. These are a bunch of shorts. First one is from Breezy Politics, and then there'll be another one, about 4 or 5 from Emancipated. And I'm just going to play these shorts and then just read 1 or 2 scriptures to align with them. All right, to break it down. So we're going to begin with this one. And this is Miriam Francis. It looks like she's French. She's a British journalist, but she's got a French last name. And she's speaking about how the, more than 50% of the UK youth are against Israel. It's the same thing here in Chicago. I mean, and not just Chicago, but I really meant to say the United States and around the world, because they've been found out. The world knows that they're imposters. Many people are still too afraid to speak on it. Some people are not. And then you just got people that are against their policies, and that these people couldn't possibly be the people of the Lord because they're not dealing fairly. They're not the, when you read about the way that the Israelites are going to deal, they're going to deal harshly with the nations, but they're also going to be very fair. And these people aren't doing that. All right. So, but here we go.
UK youth, a striking 54% today, believe that Israel shouldn't exist. We have seen the most deranged behavior from Israelis. And I'm not just even talking soldiers. We've seen deranged behavior from soldiers, but we've seen deranged mothers on TikTok dressing up their children, with black eyes and missing teeth, or making fun of parents losing babies. We've seen soldiers urinating on Palestinian captives, children attacked by dogs, sexual assault, rape. At a certain point, for those of us who are looking at Israeli societies, this is looking psychotic. Are Israelis aware that public perception today of Israel is of a deeply depraved society? I mean, you can put all the Hasbro spin that you want on this. There is no putting lipstick on a pig.
Wow. So basically what she's telling you is that the crying of, anti-semantics is played out. You're that badass kid on the playground that hits all the other kids and then runs and cries like there's been the one that's been done wrong. And what you didn't notice was all the cameras on the playground that saw you kick and hit and steal from the kids and then play the victim. And that's exactly what these people do. All right. This is scripture to come to mind is Zechariah 11:5, because they do these horrific things and then they hold themselves not guilty and get on TV and cry, and then their lobbyists here in the West, because it's funny how no other country has lobbyists, is in America, controlling and ruling over your lawmakers. But it says Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and that sell them and say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So these people, they slay, grape, murder, steal and kill, or steal and genocide, and yet hold themselves not guilty continually. All right, so let's go to the next set. These are all from the all these shorts are from the Emancipated website on here on YouTube. So the first one I'm going to go to is titled, not that one. It does say Death to America, but it's not that one. This one with Candace Owens. So let's pop it up.
Death to America. Why doesn't that concern you?
Okay, that's a chant. And by the way, I want to be very clear. Why are they chanting Death to America? Why are they chanting that? That's kind of a random thing. I know.
Because they want Americans dead.
But why are they specifically chanting as opposed to saying, I don't know, death to China or death to Russia? What is it specifically about
America? Well, they say
America?
death to America, death to Israel, death to the United Kingdom, actually.
Oh, okay.
Death to pretty much anyone who wants to stand up to them.
Could have had something to do with our actions in the Middle East, is why I'm saying that we need a change in foreign policy. Maybe it has something to do with just like killing 1 million Iraqi civilians, okay? Because Bibi Netanyahu got on a congressional stage and said there are weapons of mass destruction, and we took that to the bank, and there actually were no weapons of mass destruction, so we just killed 1 million. It could have something, I could be crazy. It could have something to do with our actions in the Middle East. The fact that we have 2,000 troops stationed in Syria right now under the guise of saying that we're fighting ISIS, while at the same time we know that Bibi Netanyahu funded the Al-Qaeda adjacent front because he wanted to overthrow Syria.
Yeah, see, they just keep being found out, man. And like the lady in the other video said, grape, murder, land theft, all that. And then they wonder why people have the sentiment that they have. And Piers Morgan did the thing that the average Edomite, is funny how those words are frozen on the screen if you see the arrow there. But they don't want to acknowledge what they have done. They just don't. It goes back to the scripture that I just read. They whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. But let's get another one. Because what's happening with the youth of UK, what he mentioned, youth in America and around the world, the younger people, there's a council culture, among them on the Israelis and even Edomites in general, because the world is seeing them as the monsters that they are. They've lied about everything, and that truth, they're just going to have to shut down the internet because, it just, the Lord has used this. What they don't understand is that the Lord, this internet, there's a scripture about this in Psalms, and how, this truth will go out to the whole world. This is the gospel that will go to the whole world. Murderous, genocidal Christianity. I'm reading the book, Guns, Germs, and Steel right now. And it says, Guns, Germs, and Steel, the Face of Human Societies. Well, the chapter that I skimmed through it, and the chapter I decided to start in, it's called, and it's starting with the Polynesian, the discovery. All right, it says, Guns, Germs, and Steel, a natural experiment of history. Murder, rape, robbery, genocide is just some sort of scientific experiment to these people. All right, it really is. But this is Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. So they're being shamefully accused and called out. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts, which made them afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, the cities, and all that dwell therein. So great violence and fear is going to fall upon not only the converts, Israeli Khazars, all right, but the rest of the nation of Edom, all right, the self-proclaimed white people, all right, minus those of them that are, that are speckled birds, because there are many Israelites speckled, among them as well, all right. So let's go right to the next one. And the next one from this series would be, Free America. Let's see. You'll see you even have many of their own. This one, it says Free America from AIPAC. Because thinking Americans can see the danger in this because they're being called out. And you can't deny, right next to it is they lobby evil. I might play that one too, because when he spoke that on his comedy skit so many years ago, they disappeared him. So you know what, I'm gonna play his first because it hits so powerfully, because it's talking about, it's perfectly summarized is the name of the video. All right, so here we'll do George Carlin's first.
They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got
right, judges in their back pockets. This is why they violate the law of the land continually and nonstop. All right, continually and nonstop. It just didn't happen with Trump. All right, it happened with Biden and everyone before. Their whole C-19 thing and all the mandates and stuff that they did, executive orders, any executive order that goes against the law of the land, which is the Constitution, is deemed unconstitutional. And the people in high places of law enforcement and things of that nature are supposed to not follow those orders. And if people persist on breaking the Constitution, you know, every law enforcement and every military person has sworn a pledge to uphold the Constitution and come against anybody who violates it, right? And basically arrest them. That's what they're supposed to do. Every law enforcement and every military person, from a general down to a private, it is their duty to come against anyone, including the sitting president and his staff, that violates the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution. And we have a government that does it. You even have foreign entities, these NGOs, these Jewish NGOs operating within your government, controlling your government. The fact that they even exist, the fact that ADL and AIPAC even exist, are in violation of the Constitution and violation of the law of the land. Real talk. So don't sit up and just try to blame and attack Trump, all right? Because this was many years ago. You know what I mean? George Carlin has been dead, what, about almost a decade or so? And he did this comedy skit some time ago. So let's play it again. So this violation of the law of the land has been going on.
They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the... They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else.
And he said it without saying it. He said when they spend billions of dollars lobbying, there's only one nation that has all these lobbies and NGOs in America. All right? The small hats.
But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
No, that doesn't help them at all. They don't want you thinking. All right? They want to think for you. And if you think too loudly, they'll silence you. All right, so the next one right next to it was this one, Free America from AIPAC. And this is a Jewish woman that's actually speaking. All right.
We as leftist Jews know that we have a moral obligation.
So her name is Hannah Einbender. All right, and she's an actress. All right. I don't recognize her, but, you know, but she's a Jewish American actress. Okay, so let's listen to what Miss Binder, I'm not sure if it's Bender or Binder, I think it's Bender, has to say. Okay, let's listen to her.
We as leftist Jews know that we have a moral obligation to distinguish ourselves from Zionism. Israel has made their objective clear. Colonize Palestine regardless of the human or moral cost. Well, we are here to re-emphasize that while Israel and the United States may declare that Palestinian suffering is essential to Jewish safety, we say no, absolutely not.
She said it's essential to Jewish safety. So what's really being said here is that you people are putting us in dangers here in America and around the world with your behavior, because now the J-ish people are not safe to travel and go places. They're being thrown out of restaurants, kicked out of countries, met at the airports. Not even all kind of weird shit is happening to them as a result of what's being. But here's the thing, Miss Hannah Einbender, in years past, where were her and these groups at then? The Israelis have been committing atrocities and genocide for a long, and stealing of land. And they had nothing to say until it became not popular and put all over, blasted, and it's being put on the internet daily because everybody has cell phones. All right, because people are the news will say one thing, but the images from the cell phones tell a truth that the media lies about, and then they'll have the nerve to fix their lips to say, well, that's false information. Fool, we just watched the video. Everything in the video was opposite of what you said in your news broadcast, you lying piece of shit. So that's my thing is Miss Hannah Einbender. Where were you and people like you, these leftist Jewish people that she's speaking about? All right, a decade ago, 2 decades ago. When all these atrocities and bombings and and murders and genocide and land theft was being done, all in the name of Israeli expansion, breaking international laws. They want to hold everyone else accountable for breaking those laws. Is the double standards are, and so now that you're not free to enjoy your privilege, you got a problem with it. Hypocrites. Let's go to the next one. Oh, actually, let me get a scripture on hers. All right, that's Sirach 10:8 on what she said, because it's the policy that they push, the unrighteous decrees. You can also get Isaiah the 10th chapter on that, but we'll read Sirach 10:8. That will pretty much cover it. And it reads, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right. So through this crooked, unrighteous decrees and policy, they keep getting the wealth and keep getting more land, oppressing and committing genocide and murder on more people. Remember, millions of Iraqis died because of weapons of mass destruction that never existed. That Bibi Benjamin, not a Jew, Bibi Milikowski, lied about. All right, and how many billions were wasted on that war for how many years? And are the Israelis going to pay any of that back? All right, they get all this money from you dumbass Americans. All right, and when you're struggling over here just to buy groceries to live, to pay your bills, your medical bills, meanwhile, the Israeli citizens, I don't care if their medical bills is $2 million, that shit paid for. They get free medical, subsidized college. You over here going broke to go to college and then can't even get a job afterwards. All right, you Americans are really, you either fed up or you're just stupid, man. So the next one is this one right here. This Nazi 2.0.
Now that I've been called a Nazi, can I respond? Pierce, may I respond?
No, because I haven't finished the goddamn sentence.
There you go. Shut your hook nose up is what he's saying. I haven't finished the goddamn sentence. Shut up while I speak. And that's how they should be talked to you, because we've been listening to Amalek and Esau for way too long, man. Shut the hell up, man. Nobody going to want to listen to your lies anymore.
See, you own everything.
Go ahead,
you don't own everything, Rabbi Shmuley. You don't own the American people. By the way, when is America going to get its $300 billion back? What Israel is doing is
they're not going to get it back. All right? So every American that lost, land, money, property, family members due to medical frauds that were forced on the people, invented in laboratories, guess who was behind all of that? Yeah, Shmuley and his gang.
We get to murder, we get to kill, and you can't call us any names. We get to call all Muslims who fight back against us terrorists. We get to attack all of our neighbors. They attack Syria again.
How dare you defend yourself against my tyranny, you T-word. Fuck out of here.
Today, we get to break all the laws. We get to commit war crimes. And I'm telling you right now, just like the Germans, you do not have the right to commit war crimes, to commit a genocide, to kill all those children. Israel is now one of the most monstrous states I have ever seen in my lifetime. They commit endless terrorism. They rob the American people of our money to rob Palestinians of their land.
Damn. He called it hard, man. That was, and I think the last video is gonna be of his co-worker, Anna. She gonna lose it on one of them as well, man. See, the world is coming against you, you small hatters, man. All right, and you're not gonna be able to just, lock down every damn body. You can see the great insurrection is building up, but they're gonna get it back, and they're gonna get back double. And like the scripture says, their latter end would be shameful. All right. This is Revelation 18:6. And it reads, "Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she has filled, fill to her double." Yeah. So it's about to be horrific suffering from on high, directed at Esau, Edom, and especially at these Khazars. So the next one is sick of AIPAC. Yeah, here we go.
Israel lobby, AIPAC. Do you see a difference between Israel's interests and American interests?
Absolutely. Yeah. We are exhausted. We are tired from all of these wars, and we were promised that we would put our veterans, our immigration policies, and our infrastructure first. AIPAC is very persuasive for them.
And clearly America is not first. America is very last, as a result of supporting this murderous, genocidal state of international lawbreakers that have their, their control methods within your government, controlling that very man on the screen. All right. And then someone has presented evidence that he in 2017 converted. All right. So it is looking very much like he's one of them. He has put that small country, but it does say that Amalek is the first of the nations. So they're the first of they're first even to other white people. Other white people have to so-called self-proclaimed, because there's no such thing as white. They're all Edomites. They're all red. All right. Their blood shows forth through their skin. But the rest of Edom has to take the knee to them as well.
Since the Israeli lobby in Congress, if you look at my colleagues' feeds now, they all look the same. They're all tweeting the same message, that we've got to support Israel and we've got to do this.
And
Israel
why is
lobby,
that?
AIPAC.
And so these people are loose. So all these people, property owners, farm owners, that lost they have lost and losing all their farms and their wealth, and all the business owners who've lost their their businesses as a result of it. It's going back to the to the C-19 fraud. All the businesses that shut down and people lost their, they can see the genesis of the whole thing, how and why it is this way, and they're not happy at all. All right, the people are very upset. Okay, and why? Because the truth is coming out. So that brings to mind this one, which is Sirach. Well, not Sirach, but Second Ezra. One of my favorite scriptures, 6:27. Because the truth is coming out. And the truth is, is brutal. I often say that in the beginning of the video, to come forth this brutal truth. All right. Especially, and the truth is extra brutal when you have a kingdom, where your base, where your foundation is built all on lies. last thing you need is someone, speaking the truth. All right. You got a castle of ice, man. Last thing you want is someone lighting fires in it. But this is 2 Ezra 6 and 27. It says, "For evil shall be put out, deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared." So the fact that these people are not the sons of Jacob, but are the sons of Esau, all right, that these people are not good people, but they're actually the complete opposite. It's all coming out brutally, and it's making them very uncomfortable and very angry. Last video with and this woman I do believe is a speckled bird, man. She just got too much N-dub attitude, too much Keisha in her.
American taxpayers who are desperate for a better life here in America, they need to hand over billions of dollars to the Israeli government and the IDF, and we need to shut the F up about any of our critique. AIPAC is evil. AIPAC is evil, evil. My fellow Americans, are you okay with that? Are you okay with a lobbying group representing the best interests of a foreign government telling you you need to bust your ass every day, work a job that you likely hate, and have a portion of your earnings taken from you by our federal government and funneled to the Israeli government so they can commit atrocities in the Gaza Strip? Are you okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. And nothing gets under my skin more, okay, than hearing these pieces of crap say things that make it clear that they feel entitled to our money. Entitled.
Yeah, they call you Goyim. They call us cattle over here in America. All right? And they also insist that you send your sons to come die for them. Send that boy to come die for me, American. Send your white son to come die for me. All right? Send your American son to come die for us so that we can live prosperously, so that we can advance our borders into lands and have them come fight and die other young people so that we can live good. While you have to pay for your own medical, all right, while ours is free.
That gets under my skin more than you guys understand, okay? American taxpayers who are desperate for a better life here in America, they need to hand over billions of dollars to the Israeli government and the IDF, and we need to shut the F up about any of our critique. AIPAC is evil. AIPAC is evil, evil. My fellow Americans, are you okay with that? Are you okay with a lobbying group representing the best interests of a foreign government telling you you need to bust your ass every day, work a job that you likely hate, and have a portion of your earnings taken from you by our federal government and funneled to the Israeli government so they can commit atrocities in the Gaza Strip? Are you okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. And nothing gets under my skin more, okay, than hearing these pieces of crap say things that make it clear that they feel entitled to our money. Entitled. That gets under my skin more than you guys understand, okay? American tax.
2 Ezra 13:37. "And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into tempest." James 2:13. And it reads, "For he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rekaha Kwadash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal."